practical lessons you can take each and every single day of life to make your life and the lives of others better and increase your influence and your impact. Okay, so we're getting kicked off here on National Leadership Day, one of my favorite days of the year. And this is actually a day that, believe it or not, that my mentor, John C. Maxwell, and the Maxwell leadership team was able to get initiated. So hats off to my team. Go team, Maxwell Leadership. So it's great to have you on board with me today as we celebrate leaders on this day, National Leadership Day. And so we're going to get this started off. Let's get kicked off and uncue the music. My invisible producer over there. Anyway, it's great to have you on with me this morning, my friends. God bless each and every single one of you. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to like and comment and share if you are gaining anything from this at all. Share this. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Just go to J Talk Morning Show on YouTube and you'll find it. And you'll see one or two of them because one of them I still can't figure out how to delete. So, but there's a couple up there. But the one that this is going to, you definitely want to check it out. All right. So today is National Leadership Day. It's a day that we celebrate leaders. It's a day that we remember leaders. It's the day that we strive to be better leaders. It's a day that we try to become better leaders and respect and show honor to the ones in those positions of leadership. And as if you know me, you know I don't talk about bosses. Bosses is a bully on supervisory status. They have a different day, which, National Bosses Day. I don't even know what day that's on. I don't celebrate that day because I have a proclivity towards leaders, not for bosses. And if you understand the terminology, you know that bosses is a bully on supervisory status. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and take that off my face there. All right, there we go. Okay, so good morning to you. We're going to talk about a little bit about leadership today and celebrating leaders and some of the traits. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Okay, I think it's a little bit better. All right. Come with sound effects. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's all do a Java check this morning. Java. Boom. There's my little entertainment, Elvis and More, little logo design thing, whatever you want to call it. Banner. I don't know what you call it. But it's pretty cool. Side note, speaking of this, had a meeting last night, the first meeting with members of the band that I'm beginning to form up. Some incredible musicians, great musicians. Not good. They're not good. No, they're not good. They're great. They're great. And they come with so much more than just the instruments they play to the table. So much experience, wisdom, knowledge, business savvy, these things. And so so we are starting the Still Taking Care of Business show. And it's the STCB band is the name of the band, Still Taking Care of Business. We had a wonderful dinner meeting last night at a nice restaurant downtown and hashed out some things to work on and start developing and building. So it was exciting. I mean, we had a wonderful time last night. Lots of laughs, and that's good because that's the key point in any group you have. Check the personalities, not just what their talents are and their skills, and they may be high skill, high level, but what about the personality? If something like a band, in my opinion, you've got to have this mesh where you can be together, you grow together, and everybody jives together. And last night we definitely did. So fantastic individuals last night. Big shout out to Doug and Chip and David and my lovely bride Katrina last night helping out as well. So looking forward to this. We still have more members that we need to get though. More members. So we're still shopping for more members. So if you're local in the Springfield area and you'd like to be a part of an Elvis tribute show, Still Taking Care of Business, and you happen to be a backup vocalist, a keyboard player, and a bass guitar player, these are basically the ones we're looking for right now. A couple of female backup vocalists, a bass singer, and I can do bass, but I'll be doing the other stuff. So, but anyway, get in touch with me. Let's see what you got. See what you got. See if you would be a great fit for our new team. Okay, so National Leaders Day. Man, what a day. I have been a fan, a student of leadership for, gosh, 40 plus years. A student of leadership for 40 plus years. Let's just go ahead and call it, no, 40 plus, 45 ish. Yeah. And, uh, and then became a practitioner of leadership. So I was a student of it, became a practitioner of leadership while serving in the United States Army. And then I became a developer and an instructor of leadership, a teacher and a coach for leadership while in the Army, and have continued doing that since leaving the military in our consulting business. And so, if you don't have effective leadership, you don't have an effective organization, and you won't have effective and productive team members. Matter of fact, what happens with poor leadership, you attract poor people and you build a poor organization. That's why it's important that leadership is one of the most important roles that anybody can develop, and we can all develop our leadership skills. All of us can. There's nobody that can't do that. You just got to learn, how do I connect? How do I communicate? What is the best way to lead a certain group of people? What is leadership? What are the values, characteristics, the principles of leadership? What are the traits? What are these things? What can I do to build upon those? And I've got a whole lot of things on that that I could share with you on identifying that, and then how to actually start being proactive in developing those traits. So that's one thing I love doing, is helping leaders develop as leaders, and then going to develop leaders. See, that's one thing. I teach leaders how to lead, and then I teach them how to develop leaders. That's the thing. It's a two-tier system. I teach you how to lead, I coach you how to lead, I train you how to lead, and then I teach you how to help develop leaders. I coach you how to develop leaders. I train you how to develop leaders. That's what it's all about. You shouldn't be coming in to learn how to lead just so you're the only person leading any organization. And so, leadership is, I love what John Maxwell said leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Your personal leadership, the first level in my 7 levels of leadership, is personal leadership. Are you leading yourself well? The second level is peer leadership. Are you leading others around you by your influence, your impact on them well? And then you get into the positions of authority as a leader over people. Now they are under your charge, right? A positional leader. You've got to earn your way up to the top. You've got to earn your way up to the top when it comes to leadership. So all these different aspects of leadership are things that we teach and coach and train on and hold you accountable, which is one thing that all leaders look for. They look not only to hold others accountable, but true leaders are looking to be held accountable. Okay, you got that? True leaders are always looking at others to be accountable, but they're also looking at themselves to be accountable. And that means you're accountable to and accountable for. Okay, so that's what real leadership is in the wonderful world of Jay Goff. That's what I believe. So the places I've got my greatest leadership influence from was, and I don't have a copy of it here, but the Army, I've got it in a different place, the Army Leadership Manual. That's where I first learned about leadership as far as textually, opening the books, understanding it, reading it, applying it. It was the Army Leadership Manual, FM 22-100 and 101. If I have my numbers correct, and I do believe I do have my numbers correct. The FM 22-100 and the FM 22-101. I think they have changed that though, and I also have that manual. But that was my first experience as learning as a student of being a leader, and then applying it, and then teaching it also. The second one is this book right here. This is one of my Bibles right here. And there's so much, it's just filled with everything leadership. The third one is right here. This book right here, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, was the book that was introduced to me when I was a military instructor. put on this. I got a little more room. There we go. When I was a military instructor in the Army, and I was teaching, not a drill instructor. When I tell people I was a military instructor, they immediately think I wore the round brown hat. No, didn't wear the Smoky Bear hat. I was a leadership developer. I was a leadership instructor, and then help them develop them so they can go back to their organizations, lead well, and teach others well. And then a fellow instructor shared this book with me, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. My mic is blocking it. And just come back over here. Boop. Okay. There we go. So the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He brought this to me. He says, Jay, you've got to read this book. He said, it's a lot of what you teach already. Now, when I was an instructor in the military, my philosophy on leadership is, if it's good enough to lead your troops well, it's good enough to lead your life, your family, yourself well. Okay. So I would start applying or adapting the leadership lessons that the military was teaching me in how to lead others well at home, how to lead others well in your community, in your church, in your family, how to lead yourself well. And he introduced that book to me. And I got to reading that. And I'll never forget, I said, man, I tell you what, Sergeant Gumont was his name, first sergeant. He may be a sergeant major and retired now. But I said, man, this book right here, it's like John Maxwell, whoever John Maxwell was, whom I had no clue who he was at the time. He's been reading my mail. He's been reading my lesson plans. Now, in no way am I comparing myself on the level of John C. Maxwell, the number one leadership expert in the world. But I do believe great minds do think alike. Okay. So as I read that book and I started looking at what I began doing is taking some of John's books from the 21 Laws of Leadership, Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and intertwining that with my military instruction course so that I was able to drop some John on people as much as I was dropping what the United States Army Sergeant Major's Academy curriculum had presented for us to teach, right? Military history, examples of great leadership, examples of sacrifices and service of great military leaders, in with what John has written in this incredible book. So, I am plugging this book. Absolutely. John, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. But I've always considered this it's not the Bible to leadership, but it's definitely the go-to for me when it comes to talking about secular leadership. This book right here covers it all. In fact, John Maxwell will tell you, he wrote this book only because all the lessons come from this book, the Holy Bible. Leadership began in the Holy Bible. And so those are my two influences of leadership. John C. Maxwell, definitely. So I celebrate him today also because today is John C. Maxwell's birthday. I think he's 77 now. I have to go back and look. I'm sure it's going to be posted and plastered. But happy birthday, John. One of my greatest mentors, and I'm so proud to be a part of his team to influence and add value to others, and you hear me talk about John a lot. So in the Bible, it says here, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Okay. I want you to think of this in the concept of a leader, in the perspective of a leader. Okay. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. If you're just now an aspiring leader, and that was taken from Luke 16:10 in the Bible. If you are an aspiring leader, you want to lead, I think you need to ask yourself why. Why do you want to lead? Is it that you want to lead for the prestige and the power of the position? Or is it because you want to lead, be a leader to influence the people? Are you about the position and the power and the prestige, or are you truly about the people? You see, one actually is leadership. It's plain and simple. You get into those positions so you can make a difference with the teams that you're serving. That's leadership. In it for the power, prestige, and the position, that's bossship. Okay? I almost said something else. That's boss. That's being a boss. Okay? So there's a difference. So if you're an aspiring leader, ask yourself today, can you be trusted with very little? If you're given a task, an assignment, can you be trusted to accomplish it? Can you develop a team? Can you lead one or two people on a small scale? Are you good at communicating and connecting and also communicating your intent that comes from above? Can you do that? Can you provide results, produce? Can you do that with small, with the little? If you can't do that, then you cannot be trusted with much. So you got to really do some evaluation. You got to ask yourself, why do I want to be a leader? Why do I want to be a leader? Now, most people want to get into those positions because they want a raise. They want to increase their retirement investments. They want to increase other opportunities. And there is nothing wrong with wanting to increase and improve your life, and that being one of the positions that will do it. Okay. I always say that your job as a resource should not be the source. Okay. It's a resource to a greater life. And if part of that is becoming a leader at getting that position, that's fantastic. It's a great resource to elevate and to get to where you want to go. We should all be striving to increase and improve ourselves. But if your why is just because you're tired of being told what to do by other people, so you're going to be the person to tell other people what to do. Okay. That's the wrong attitude. That is the wrong attitude to get into leadership. You want to get into leadership because you want to make a difference. You want to get into leadership because you want to be with people who want to make a difference. You want to become a leader, get into a leadership position because you want to do things that make a difference. And you want to become a leader because you want to do it at a time that makes a difference. That's what a leader does. That's why you get into it. Can you be trusted with a little bit of an assignment? Can you be trusted with an assignment that you say, well, that's not my job? That's not my job. That's somebody else's job. Can you be trusted to take that ball and run with it anyway? When you're given an assignment, can you take it and go? You got to be trusted with little if you want to be trusted with much. Okay. Trust is a big thing about leadership too. That's the thing. Leadership is all about trust. And if people can't trust you, you're not going to impact and influence in a way that is positive, that really truly helps and supports them and makes the organization better and can actually elevate you. And here's something else too. A leader is okay. A leader never has to tell you that they're a leader. A leader will never have to tell you that they are the leader. The people will sing your praises for you. They will sing your praise. If you're a true leader, your people will let people know that you are the leader and they would follow you. So a leader never has to. Matter of fact, I mentioned this last night when we had dinner. You know, I like to lead from a round table, not a head table. Okay. I like to lead from a round table, not a head table. The round table is where everybody is looking at everybody and we can all communicate. Okay. And there's no position of intimidation by a head table positioning of the leader. The other thing I like to encourage leaders is, and this didn't happen last night because I was the first one there. I mean, Katrina was the first one there. But if you're setting up a board meeting and you have a round table, don't have assigned seats. Don't have them. Don't be the first one into the office or into the boardroom. Be the last one. I said, Jay, that kind of goes counterintuitive. As a leader, I should be leading. I should be the first one in, right? No. And I'll tell you why. The round table approach does this. Everybody else is coming in. They choose a seat. They wander around. They're thinking, I wonder where the leader's going to sit, right? They'll either sit as far away from where they think you're going to be sitting, or they're going to try to sit as close as they can to where you're sitting. That's the beauty about the round table. The head table, everybody knows where you're going to sit. Okay. So come in last. Let everybody else fill the seats. And then you come in and you find the seat that's vacant and you sit there. And this does many things. This helps people see you. Everybody can see you. You can see everybody. Everybody can see each other. And everybody can communicate. A round table opens up a different kind of communication process than a head table. At a head table, everybody's looking at you. And if they want to look at anybody else, they got to turn their head left and right constantly. Everybody's always looking at you and to you. A leader who leads from a round table, and this is a talk I could do in great detail sometime. A leader who leads from a round table is a listener. He's asking questions. He puts it on the table. He listens to people share their thoughts and ideas. You guide the conversation. You start it off, but you guide the conversation and let everybody else talk about it. This is communication. This is how we learn and we grow. And that's how I prefer to lead. And that's how I led my group last night. Although I was the first one in. Like I said, we were there early to make sure our reservations was good. But are you leading from a round table? I think I want to do a big talk on that sometime. So John says that a good leader is a person who takes a little more than his share of the blame and a little less than his share of the credit. I love that because, Abe Lincoln said, that, and I'm not quoting it word for word, but essentially what he was saying was that when things go bad, I'm to blame. When things go well, I give the credit to others. Okay? As a leader, you take the blame. You claim the blame. You don't deflect it. You don't reject it. You don't cast it off on somebody else. Okay? That's not what a leader does. But when things go well, it only went well because of your people. You may have led them. You may have guided them. You may have facilitated and instructed them. But they actually did the execution. And it's the execution that matters. Execution is where the results are. Everything else is a process to get there. And if you had a great result, you had great execution. Give the praise to the people. That's a leader. That's a leader. All right, my friends, I've gone well over my intended time as usual, making a nasty habit of that. 23 minutes into this talk. So happy National Leaders Day to all you great leaders out there. And if you're a boss, learn how to lead. Straight up. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in a position for the position and prestige and power, learn how to lead or move aside. You're not gaining anything by the position you're in, other than, sure, you might climb the ladder, but what kind of a legacy are you leaving behind? I know people who were in positions of power and authority that when they left, the only thing ever mentioned about them is how miserable they were, how miserable they made life for everybody else. I know people like this. You do too. Don't be that person. Be the person that when you leave, people will say, you know what? I remember when he was here. I wish she was still back here. I remember how things ran so smoothly and we had great communication and the place it wasn't so stressful when so-and-so was our leader. Be that kind of leader who leaves that kind of legacy. You may not hear about it. You may not ever think about it. But no, you're making a difference in the lives of other people on every single day opportunity. So that's what I got for you today, my friend. Happy National Leadership Day. Do the hashtag National Leadership Day. That's going to be all over the place. And come back and check out the hashtag later. Let's see what other people are talking about on this day. So a little dry throat there. So that's what I got for you right now, my friends. Make sure to come back tomorrow morning where maybe we'll just talk about National Leadership Day for the whole week. Why not make it a whole week? Okay. Maybe we'll talk more about that. I'll know more tomorrow morning. Okay. And but until next time, my friends, God bless you. Remember to get up, get out there, and get at it, and lead well, my friends. Lead yourself well, and lead others well as as well. There's a whole lot of Willas in there. All right, my friends, God bless you. Get up, get out. Okay, let's get at it.